Do you ever feel like no matter how much you rest, you're always tired? Like if the joy you had inside is no longer there. That motivation that you had for, to do something is no longer there. Well, that's what we call burnout. And that is also grief. Hello, this is Ligia Houben. Welcome to Transforming Grief. I am a thanatologist and grief specialist. I am so glad you're here today because we will be talking about something that can actually change the quality of your life. We'll be talking the reason of why I say that burnout, being burnt out, can make you feel grief. That is one thing. And at the end, I will be sharing with you some things that you can do to feel empowered. Yes, to feel empowered. Because what we don't want is to stay in that place, feeling burnt out, is to do something about that. Okay? So the way we're going to go about this is to talk about the reason that we experience grief. What happens is that being burnt out is more than feeling stressed out. We may say, I'm so stressed out. I am overwhelmed with all the things that we gotta do. However, being burnt out is having that void inside, is having this sensation that something is happening inside of you. Something is happening inside of you, and you don't feel like you can continue with the same energy level that you had. And it is not only because of all the things we got to do, we have to do. No, it has to do with the losses we are experiencing. Yes, because we experience losses. Now, what are these losses? Well, we may have lost the sense of freedom. We may have lost the sense of doing the things that we enjoy doing. And now we find ourselves just doing, and at times not getting there. You may feel like if you're spinning your wheels. Has it happened to you? And this is not particularly because you are doing something that you don't like. For example, I hear people that say, oh, I hate my job. That breaks my heart when I hear that, but it happens a lot. Well, in that aspect, in that context, people may feel, besides being stressed out, burnt out. We can also feel burnt out even when we are doing things we love. What makes me say that? Well, that has happened to me. Because I love so many things. I like to do so many things. I do this, I do that. And suddenly it catches up with me. And then the important thing is to recognize that. And let me tell you that this has just happened to me. Interesting in doing this new podcast, not as a video, because before over 2 years I have had it as an audio. Now it's a video. And this is, doing something extra. And let me tell you, I love this. However, because I do other things, it's time for me to find the balance, to find a way, okay, I love doing this, then what are the things that I will let go? Because the idea is not to feel overwhelmed in doing this. The idea is to find a way to release the things that I really don't care much and have all that energy in doing the things I care about, such as this is one. That's why I wanted to share this with you. Because what are the things that you are doing in your life that you feel that it's too much? Is that your why? Is that still your why? Because maybe when you started, you have that strong why. I want to do this. And then suddenly, when it was way too much, and you find yourself juggling with things, there's no longer your why. that is something that I suggest you do. Take a step back and evaluate. Evaluate what you're doing. If it's giving you meaning, if it's giving you purpose, if it's your strong why to continue. When I talk about these topics, I always say the things that I do. I like to recommend, to suggest things that I do, and I feel that, they help me. That's why I say these things. Evaluate it. Something else that helps as well, to prioritize. Yes, to set priorities, okay? Not long ago, I did a webinar. Well, it's a Zoom meeting that I do every 2 weeks, and they are sponsored by the Alliance for Aging and Ocean Reef Community Association, and they are about personal growth. It's not only about grief, but we talk about personal growth. And this last one was about how to handle stress and anxiety. Maybe that resonates with you, because it resonated with people that came to the meeting, because they were saying, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. That's the first thing that we don't want to say. We don't want to say, I am stressed out. I am always stressed out. This is so stressful. That's the first thing we want to stop saying, because we are manifesting that. And the more we say it, the more stressed we feel. So what we want to do is to step out again and prioritize and notice what is making you feel stressed. Because when stress accumulates and it starts to grow and grow and grow, then you may become burnt out. Okay? So number one is to evaluate what you are doing and evaluating if you still live according to your why, to your meaning, to your purpose. Number two would be prioritize what is important and rank it. Rank the priorities. You can do this, write it on a paper, write it on your phone. You can do that. That is just a practice to embrace. Something else that is extremely, extremely important, self-management. Because yes, we talk about time management, and I mentioned that in the webinar that I'm talking about. However, I prefer to call it self-management, because we all have 24 hours in a day. We all do. How do we manage that? How do we manage ourselves? What is that we're doing that is giving us joy, that we are productive, that we are efficient, that we still have some me time? That is something else that I highly recommend. Because if we are always going, what happens? We get burnt out. We get burnt out because we have, our energy, our physical energy, our emotional energy, our mental energy has limitations. It's not, limitless. No. And we need to pay attention to that, to take care of that. And when we do that and we start, embracing all these things that we can do and finding the time to rest, to recharge, and to see where we are going, then you can find the answer to how you feel today. I hope that these ideas that I have shared with you about how to stop being burnt out and actually feeling empowered, because when we are in control of what we are doing and how we are handling what we are doing, and we feel that we live according to our why, that empowers us. And that's what we want. Always making choices that make us feel good, that makes us feel that we are taking that step forward. If this has resonated with you, I will be so grateful if you subscribe to the channel, give it a like, you share it with someone, and again, leave a comment to see if there are topics that you want me to talk about, because that's what we want to do. To talk about topics that we don't talk generally about them. However, when we start having this conversation, we realize, oh my God, yes, that's how I feel. Okay, so that's what I want to do in this channel. So thank you for being here. Until next time.